I personally do not believe that this whole mediocrity thing is accidental. I
Mm,
believe it was forced upon us.
that's an interesting take.
Mhm.
Well, I refuse to subscribe to any level of mediocrity just because it makes somebody else feel okay.
Dead ass?
That ass, baby.
1, 2, 3.
It all started with real talk, unfiltered, honest, and straight from the heart. Since then, we've gone on to become Webby Award-winning podcasters and New York Times best-selling authors.
Deadass was more than a podcast for us. It was about our growth. A place where we could be vulnerable, be raw.
Pause. But most importantly, be us.
But as we know, life keeps evolving, and so do we. And through it all, one thing has never changed.
This
is Ellis Ever After.
Dead ass.
Because we got a lot to talk about.
So, I'm going to take everyone back to a time where I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed, but I was also very, very confused. This is when Jackson was going to public school in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna shout out the public school name,
Mm-hmm.
but we were going to field day, and as you guys know, I tend to be very competitive.
No shit.
So Jackson was, I think, first grade.
Yeah.
So this was his first field day in first grade.
Mhm.
So, we had been doing our treadmill workouts and stuff like that. And,
Hype.
I'm hyped. I'm like, yo, you got to run through the line.
You about to dust them.
You know what I'm saying? Run through the line. You know what I'm saying? We got to go out here and compete, right? And me and Kadeem show up early for field day. We actually did so early that we actually helped him set up. Okay? And this is when things started to get very interesting. Teacher gets there. They set up the group. It was about 30 kids,
Mhm.
right? They set up about 6 lines.
Right.
There were 5 kids in each line. And they didn't have any like color coordination.
Right.
All of the kids had on the same teal shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, on your mark. Well, the kids were supposed to run down and come back.
Right.
Right. And
They were like, oh, it's like a little like
it's a relay race,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So I say to the teacher, wait a minute. That line over there has 2 more extra kids. She said to me, don't worry about it. At which time I was like, what do you mean don't worry about it? She goes, it don't even matter. I said, excuse me? There's no winners and losers. They're just running. And I got so mad.
It just became a cardio session.
I was like, wait a minute. So she said the first person in these lines is just going to go to the back of the line and they'll go. And then I said, well, what about if they want to keep going? We'll just let them go and have fun. I was like, it's field day.
I was like, there's nothing fun about that.
But it was in that moment that I realized
Yeah.
that our generation is doomed and has been doomed for a very, very long time.
Mm. Interesting. We'll unpack.
Look right in there. Look right in there. And tell people to stop saying you look like your mother. Who you look like? It's okay. You're not going to hurt her feelings. Just tell the truth. We got the same everything. We both got 2 eyes, got a nose and a mouth. The Barbie, you already got a hairline forming. Did you just say mama? Oh, you think this is... I don't even know whose child you are anymore. Okay? Come get this boy. Oh, I asked him who he looked like. He gonna say mama. It's a wrap now. I don't even know who you are no more.
Because he's smart. Give me.
Get out of here. I don't even... Here, take him. Where's Jackson at?
I got him too. Sorry.
Jackson! Come here. Who you look like?
You?
Tell him. Look right in the camera. Tell him who you look like.
I look like my dad. I look like my dad.
You see? You heard him?
Look
You
like
heard
my
him?
dad. I look my dad. I'm gonna ex my mom.
Yeah.
My mom.
It's all dad, baby.
All right, karaoke time.
Yes.
Yes. It's so funny. We're here looking up like songs that had mediocre in it. Mediocre in it. And we're like, none of these apply. But what came to mind for me is actually one of my favorite Bob Marley songs. It's called Bad Card. Have you heard it before, babe?
No.
Them I got tired, frisky with face. Can't get we out of the race. Oh, yeah. I forget the word. They say I'm in your place. And then you draw a bad card. Propaganda spreading over my name. Say you want to bring another life to shame. Oh, man, you just play a game. And then you draw a bad card. The reason that came to mind is just like, you're over there running your race. You're doing what you want to do, right? And then people start coming in and they start talking about all the things that you're trying to do. Meanwhile, I'm trying to focus on my race. Like, this is my lane and it's my race, and you have something to say about it because I want to be great. Be mediocre over there by yourself. Don't come in my lane because you don't need to be here. I'm here for a reason.
That's what Bob Marley was saying?
I don't know if that's what he was saying. That's how I took it, though. I interpreted it that way. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, though.
You're going to be tight. Yeah, you can't get me out the race, man. Like, I'm meant to be here to execute whatever my purpose is, whatever the dreams and goals I have set for myself. For the fact that you got something to say because you prefer to live a mediocre life, that had nothing to do with me.
I feel you.
You know?
I feel you.
Anyway.
I'm excited about this conversation because I hear where you're going, and we're going in two different ways, but it's the same conversation. Watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
I'm sure we'll tie it all together with a nice little bow on top. And of course, we want to hear from Matt, Josh, and Tribble when we come back after paying these bills. So stick around, y'all.
Hey, yo, David. I'm coming, David. Stay right there. It's too hard to move, David.
You think you made your dreams come true?
This is how Kay want me to wear the pants. This is what she showed me in the picture. I'm not wearing my pants like this, bro. I'm not doing it.
See, this is what we have a problem.
I'm on Patreon, y'all.
All right, and we're back.
Yes.
Yeah, that field day had to feel hot because we come from a school back in the day, right?
Yo.
Small private school, Bethlehem Baptist Academy. Shout out to them.
Yes.
Now known as Trey Whitfield School.
Yes.
But back when we had field day, like, we looked forward to getting that ribbon.
As early as nursery, 4 years old, I remember my first race.
Like, that blue ribbon was
Stop
like
laughing.
first
Stop
place.
laughing. Stop laughing, Josh. It's
As
not funny.
early as what?
As 4 years old, I remember my first race.
In nursery school.
I remember the day.
Absolutely.
I had on the brown little shirt with the yellow bottoms because that's what we wore in nursery.
Mm-hmm.
And they lined all of us up. And Robert Johnson was in my class. And there was another little kid that he was supposed to be fast. But I just knew he wasn't faster than me. So I remember racing and seeing that, they had the ribbon you had to cross. And I remember running and thinking, maybe it's because it was kind of traumatic to me. I was like, when I run through this ribbon, is it going to break or am I going to fall? But I was just running through it. And I remember running through it and then getting a blue ribbon afterwards that said first place.
That said number
Is that
one.
like Coda's age?
I was just about to say,
4.
and we wonder why Dakota is the way he is. Have y'all seen the footage lately of him pushing the sled at the park?
I got it.
Seriously.
I got it.
I got it.
That's Dakota's favorite. I got it. So that makes sense why Dakota is the way he is.
Actually, he's nuts.
But no, it was the same thing for me. Like, I was over there looking like, okay, these are who I'm running against. And it was the same group that we moved up from first to second to third to fourth. And it's like, well, who's going to beat who this year? But it was a friendly competition. Like, nobody was mad. Nobody was upset.
It was not
for
friendly.
me.
If you beat me in a race, we was not friends.
You wasn't friends.
We was only friends if I won. if I lost, you was my arch nemesis until we raced again. Like,
right.
In my mind,
you had to wait a whole year to come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did not lose.
I know. So then fast forward to Jackson's field day, and we're just like, so wait, everybody gets a participation trophy. Okay.
That's what I was
That's how it works now. So there's no reason to try to be great. Everybody can just do their own thing and still be a winner.
And this was my issue, right? It was not only that, it was like so many things that was happening during the time of early childhood education. This was our first time having a child.
Mm-hmm.
So then, for example, we were hearing murmurs that you're not allowed to correct children certain ways. For example, we grew up with the red pen. They put red marks all over your paper, but now it's like too much red marks are aggressive and makes a child think that they failed. Yeah,
well, maybe you did.
If you got red marks, then you failed. But it was the no field day. It was if you had a sporting event, you couldn't speak. They said speak violently, which means you raised your voice. Like, no, this is a sporting event. Like, we're supposed to be cheering our kids on, but also correcting them. Like, I just felt like watching Jackson grow through this system, which we were, trying to figure out where we were. It just seemed like there was no space for parents to correct or teachers to correct.
Nah, it's about fun, bro.
Which creates mediocre people that you can't control. That's my whole purpose. Like my whole point. My whole point is that they're doing this on purpose, so that you have these low
droves
functioning
of
adults
yeah.
who just grew up in mediocrity. Because if you really think about it, mediocrity leads to so many messed up parts of your life, right? For example, everybody gets a participation trophy. Everybody graduates. It doesn't matter how hard you work. We all get the same thing. What does that tell people? Why work hard? If we're all going to get the same thing, why work hard? But then you see someone else working hard, and this comes to your point. Now you ostracize the few people who maybe want to work hard. They get ostracized by the groups. You know
Or
what
you
I'm saying?
label them, right? We label them the one person that be going too hard,
Yeah.
be doing too much.
It
You've
definitely
heard
get
that
labeled.
before sometimes, I'm sure, because we all over here at some point have tried to be, achievers, overachievers. We're trying to do our best.
Extra.
And we've been extra. I've heard before that people say, me and Deval want to be A-listers so bad. And it's just like, baby.
I do.
Yeah.
So what's the problem if you want to?
And if I want that,
I do.
what's your problem with that?
You
Clearly,
wanna be
you got a problem with that.
D-lister or A-lister? I don't.
I want
I've
to be at the top of
never been on a
everything.
D-list my whole life. Well,
Yes, you have.
you
Hey,
know.
yo. Let's have it after dark.
Ellis after.
You know, we always find a way to massage that in there. But seriously,
Yeah.
though, like A-list.
Yeah, you did it 2 times
just
in a
keep
row.
falling for it.
You know
Come
what?
on now.
A-list is the list for me, honey. Okay. And I was getting A's. I was on the headmaster's list. Like, that's just a letter that's followed me my whole life, honey. So
But this,
why would now be any different?
but you know what's funny? Even your mom, right?
Mhm.
Your mom pushed the standard on you
Oh
and
my
your brother and your
gosh.
sister. And the standard
Absolutely.
was always
Excellence. A.
Excellence, right?
That's it.
But think about how they ostracized your mom.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Everyone said your mom was a stage mom. She was doing too much. and-
Absolutely.
and that's-
Even in her job, they were just like, she's a bitch, she's this, she's that. But it's like she got the job done and in an excellent way.
Absolutely.
What other way is there to go? But anyway,
But
let's
I'm-
go to op and no op
let's
before
go
we
op-
get back
you
into
know
the
what?
meat
Yeah,
of the
let's do
show,
that. Let's
because
do that.
we can definitely go on and on and on.
You want
Triple.
to push op or no op, D? Because you want to definitely talk about mediocrity.
Now, I do want to talk about mediocrity, but I do want to do op or no op because I think it's funny.
For sure. And then we can spiral back into talking about it.
Definitely going on the news this week. Cardi B is on trial. Have y'all been seeing those clips?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't.
She's like,
Cardi B is one of the funniest people on the planet.
absolutely.
And this trial she's in is kind of ridiculous. It seems like she didn't settle a lawsuit where a security guard at a Beverly Hills doctor's office was kind of following her around and taking videos, and Cardi B was pregnant and going off on this lady. And so the lady alleges that Cardi assaulted her, scratched her with her long nails, and is trying to get $24 million. So Cardi went on the stand this week to testify in her defense, and she had some really funny things to say. The defense lawyer asked if Cardi B called the security guard fat, and she said, "No, I was calling her a bitch."
Which one is worse?
And then he was like, "Well, do you think she's fat?" And she was like, "Well,"
She was
She's
like,
look at her.
that's
She
what she was
said,
like.
I think she said, look at her,
Her
right?
eyes came down like this.
she
I
said she's
lost
security heavy, security guard heavy. She looks like she could protect a building. Those were some of my best moments from the trial.
looked like
The
she could
couple
protect the
sound bites
building.
that she
Yeah.
had.
Hilarious.
She's a meme. She's a meme at this point. But Cardi.
Cardi B.
Oh my God. It's all over the internet.
Um,
It's all over.
I didn't hear this. Is the first time I'm hearing about this. My only op is that Cardi B mad funny. And Cardi B don't be giving a fuck. Like she don't care.
My op is that if she's somebody that I want to put on the stand, I know I'm gonna get the truth from her. Like, I don't even think she's capable of lying about anything, because she's just so dead ass about
gonna
everything
bluntly
that
tell you the
she's just
truth.
like, this is the truth. Like, I'm not gonna mince words.
Dead ass of the week. That's Cardi B, because yes, she is absolutely dead ass. And my only op is I don't know why people keep fucking with her.
She's pulled up on people a
Yeah,
couple times.
she's gonna fight
Yeah,
you.
she's about that life.
And she's going to go to court. She's going to go all the way to court. She's not settling no lawsuit.
no,
Yep.
and she looks good doing it.
Amen.
Like, baby was laid, okay, nails were done, hair was laid, all
Yeah.
the things.
Cardi B is like my spirit animal, yo. Her level of not giving a fuckness is like top tier.
To be
Like she
commended.
don't
Yeah.
care. It be
Yeah.
wig, no wig. Teeth done, no teeth done. And she's smiling and laughing the whole time. Like you can't knock or rattle her. I love that.
Yeah.
You really can't.
I do love that.
You
yo.
really can't. All the mediocre folk, how they feel about that.
They hate
They
Cardi
probably
B
wish
too.
that they had the balls to be like that.
They
I'm
hate
sure.
Cardi B. They hate Cardi B. Too.
That's right. Speaking of mediocre, I had saw a clip of Oprah and Gail, my two homegirls. I don't know if you know them.
It's
Shout
your
out to
people?
y'all.
Yes. It's the fam bam.
Yeah. So Oprah was saying that you cannot be friends with anybody who is jealous of you.
Oh, I've seen that.
And I was thinking about this today because we're talking about does mediocrity love company? When you have people in your circle who are okay with being stagnant, do they try to keep you at their level? So her point was you can't ever be friends with somebody who is even a little bit jealous of you because they'll never let you be great. And that kind of goes hand in hand with if you have friends that are not dedicated to their own growth, if you're always trying to convince somebody, to do better, or if they're looking at you and counting your pockets and the things that you have and they're really not happy for you. They wish they had it, but they don't have the work ethic behind it. Do you have an op or no op on whether you think that's true?
I got an op on that. I watched it for 10 plus years when I was training kids. There's always a group that comes in that wants to try it out, right? But then there's always the one or two kids that are really dedicated to the work required to being successful. And for the most part, they'll all keep coming together because that one or two kids really want to keep doing it. So they'll all do it. They don't all put in the same work, but they come. And then I watch as the one or two kids start to get scholarship offers and things start to happen, how his group of friends start to slowly turn on him. And all of a sudden, he's not as good as he think he is. He worked too hard. And I'm just like, wow, y'all were all coming to do this together. But the simple fact that you didn't have the success that you wanted to have because you weren't willing to put in the work that you had to put in, now you're upset at him. And it was funny, I was talking to Kay about this, right? I feel like mediocrity is a huge part of gender wars. And I'm going to tell you why, right? The same type of person who's not willing to put in the work to get what they feel they deserve out of life will often put that the other person needs to put more work in, right? We watch it all the time. Or you have a problem with the other person having higher standards. So imagine you're a man or a woman and you're dating a member of the opposite sex. You're not willing to put in the work that is required to keep the person you want. So you constantly get disappointed because that person is not interested in you. So what do? You blame the gender. Bitches ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. It all comes back to the fact that if you're not willing to do for yourself, you find fault in people who are. And it's the same thing as misery loving company. The same way you and your friend both came in the gym to work out, but they get better results because they eat a little bit better. So now you slowly start shaming them for things. We watch it all the time with women who do that to each other.
Yeah.
Two women start a journey, right? A weight loss journey. One puts a little bit more work, then out of nowhere, the other one is a little bit more upset, right? We watch men do the same thing. Dude make a little bit more money than his friend. He went to school for it, and now the friend is a little bit upset. Oh, you think you better than me because you make more money? That's part of misery loving company.
Like, or they got the golden ticket. Your friend got the golden ticket, even though he's talented.
You know
crazy.
what I'm saying? And he won't do the work.
Right. It had to be something else. It had to be a hookup. It had to be a relationship. And I'm always mindful of.
It happened.
It's true. Yeah. And
No,
I'm
that's
always
a true
mindful
story
of
he
people.
talking about. What happened to me?
What's that?
What he's talking about, it happened with me. Like somebody was talking about me behind my back. I actually went on an Instagram live. Somebody was talking. And then in the comments we saw, yeah, Matt had the golden ticket. I was like, what? How I got the golden ticket? I just work hard.
Oh, because, I get it. I get it. Because you had success.
Because I had an opportunity and
Your
I took advantage
success
of my opportunity by working hard.
Because you had the golden ticket.
But
not
they had the
because
same
you worked.
But they
opportunity.
had the same opportunity, though.
That's a perfect example.
So-
that right there is a perfect example.
Right. So
All right.
you simply executed your opportunity, but how did you even get the opportunity to begin with? Because you were working hard and you were seen.
Josh gave two people opportunities. Matt took advantage of it, and the next one didn't. Then Matt all of a sudden had a golden opportunity, a golden nugget, a golden ticket.
Golden ticket.
That's a
because that
perfect
person
example.
didn't work hard enough.
That's a perfect example.
Are you friends with that person to this day?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He is. Friends.
He is.
I mean,
and Matt can't be.
no,
He
I-
can't
no way I'm
be.
friends
That's
with
what
him.
Oprah's saying,
There's
though.
different degrees of friendships, obviously,
Right.
right? I'm still
Associate.
cool with that person. I
Yeah.
understand what their mindset is, but you know, it is
There's
what
nothing
it
wrong
is.
with
It's
that,
what
though.
it is.
There's
Right.
nothing-
That's business.
Yo, I don't think that, first of all friends have to get along for me to be friends, number
Facts.
one. I also don't think that you have to not be friends with someone because their mindset is different.
Yeah, of
To
course.
me, that's also a mediocre mindset.
Absolutely.
Just because you disagree with me doesn't mean that we can't be friends. I don't take all disagreement as an attack or an
Yeah.
assault. You know
Because
what I'm
friendships are
saying?
not conditional for you in that sense. Whereas can you do for me, or how
Yeah.
can you give me this golden ticket?
Right,
It's essentially
right.
you like somebody for who they are, right? The friendships are relationships
Supposed
that
to
we
be.
choose to get into.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
don't have to be in them, you
Yeah.
know?
But that mindset that they talk about is why I say like mediocrity is like eating us up, because it affects you in so many different ways. Business, in
Mhm.
relationships, like we talked, the gender role thing. Like it's all based on the fact that are you willing to work as hard for yourself as you're trying to put on everyone else around you? And when you're not willing to do that because we've been fed mediocrity, at the same time you can't blame people, right?
Mhm.
If you tell kids everybody gets a trophy, all adults in their life are not allowed to correct them, from teachers to parents. Those kids are going to grow up to be adults at some point.
Yep. And here
And
we
then
are.
here we are. You know, right? These are the adults we have now.
Right.
And it's like at some point people have to say, yo, wake up. If you
Mhm.
want more out of life, you have to go get it.
You
Yeah,
have to.
absolutely.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
And be mindful, to Gail's point, what my op was going to be mindful of people who mask, jest and
Mhm.
truth, right? That will
Mm.
say, for example, like, oh, like you didn't have to do all that, or damn, that outfit looked crazy. Like just even trying to joke and
Yeah.
make a,
What's
I
up,
told
Hollywood?
Jackson
Yeah.
I
about
know
it.
what you mean.
Yeah, I
Little
told
slights.
Jackson
They-
little
Mhm.
slights, little jabs.
They always say
that they laugh
hate when
off.
people say, "Oh, your little thing,"
Right.
your little business or
Uh-huh,
your little
uh-huh.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for
that's true. That
sure.
is very
So
true.
I told Jackson that as he's getting older and he's making those friendships, which is interesting to see the space that he's in with friendships, because he's not like a clique kind of kid.
Nope.
We were just talking about like he's not
Nope.
with any particular group. He's kind of have his solid core 2 or 3 guys and
I've-
gets along with everybody.
I watch Jax though, right? Jax has relationships with different people. Like he has this one friend, don't play no sports.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like a brainiac. Them two went to the movies, you know what I'm saying, to go chill. Got another friend that all they do is sports. Then his other homeboy, they in robotics. It's like Jackson likes to be around people who have
Like-minded.
like high achievers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if we're gonna do something, let's all do it at the same rate. And he
Right.
also likes people who compete. Like his homeboy, they're competing to be valedictorian. His other homeboy, he's competing with him to be the best in robotics. I like that.
He definitely
Mhm.
get that from
You
y'all though, because that's
I
how
hope
you are.
so. Yeah, that is how I am.
Yeah.
You definitely like that.
That's true.
And the
Both
thing
of
is,
us.
I love competing, but here's what's the craziest part, and I don't think anyone will ever say this. I like losing.
Why? Because you learned a lesson.
I learn. When you around people and you always win, right? Where's the challenge?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's only when I'm around people who have made me think something and I'm like, oh shoot.
Right.
You know, like, dang. And then it's like, dang, I'm sitting, it makes me feel like I'm sitting in a mediocre spot if I thought I had everything figured out.
Well, they say that, right? If you're the smartest in the room, you need to change your room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I love to be challenged. Even having a podcast, someone has a different thought. Come to the comments and say the thought. Let's talk about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
your thought, and one thing I do hate when people come and say no disrespect. You don't have to lead with no disrespect or it's
Right.
all
Because
love.
there's none taken.
You don't have to say it's
Or I
all
say
love
this with
to-
love.
Nah, it's just what's your thought? Because your thought may open my mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't
That-
take this the wrong way.
Like
No
that-
disrespect implies disrespect people.
Right, right.
Exactly.
It means I'm about to say it, but I don't want you to take it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
But
You know what I'm
also,
saying?
like, when you, for example, you've said it before, when we do post for even our podcast clips, right? The whole point of posting these clips is to have engagement, for people to
Yeah.
be in the comments and to talk about things, to maybe possibly learn something, take away a little tidbit. But we're not giving our opinions, trying to persuade you to think the way we
Right.
think.
Right.
Right.
It's
yeah.
simply just us sharing what we think about it. And then you can take or leave whatever you want,
Yeah.
you know? And a lot of, did anybody read the book, the Let Them Theory? Or have you heard
No,
about
but
it?
I've heard about it.
You've
yeah.
heard about it?
Mel Robbins.
Yeah, right. So essentially what it's saying is that, what people feel, believe, think, you just let them, even their opinions about you, because the only thing that you can control is now once you let them, let me.
Make them go on.
So right. So make them go on. And now let me either distance myself, put up a boundary, whatever is required in order for you to just finagle that relationship, or realize, hey, it could also be a comment coming from a complete stranger. They're commenting based off of how they feel. And then you let them be, right? Because then I don't have to consume that.
I don't be trying to let them nothing, man. I'll be trying to let them get cussed out. Okay.
True,
Y'all
that's
be
true.
coming at me
People do
crazy
be
in the comments.
a comment sometimes.
Yeah, a little sometimes, but I give myself a limit. I'll respond to a couple, and then after it's been up for 24 hours, I'm not responding anymore.
Absolutely. Because there's a lot of mediocrity in the comment section.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that
A
much.
lot of
There's a lot
lack of critical
stupidity in
thinking.
the comment section.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Call it what it
For
is.
sure.
That's
And we don't
life,
dwell
though.
there.
That's the
Comment
whole
section of
world,
social
though.
media.
We don't
That's the
dwell
whole
there.
world. It's really the whole world. You can't even take it.
That's real.
serious.
No, you can't.
Like you can't.
You just
That
have,
is
what you
real.
have to do is stop giving people the power over you. You
And-
got to stop expecting things from people.
Mhm.
So this brings me back to remember the very, very beginning.
Mhm.
Why I think mediocrity was forced on us.
Mhm.
I think it was just a way to fatten us up for the slaughter, right? Like it's easier to control a group of people if they only aspire to be mediocre, right? If they
So true.
aspire to follow each other, right? If they just aspire to have not like remember when we grew up, too cool for school?
Yeah.
Like all the cool kids failed. All the cool kids was doing drugs. Like who pushed that narrative?
Mhm.
That being mediocre and not trying hard was cool. And I noticed it's so easy to change your mindset. When I was doing Prototype for the 10 years, we had nobody can be a part of Prototype if you had under 80 GPA. And my thing was I wanted to change the standard so that people knew when you walked in here, you were part of the cool kids who got good grades. And it was funny how the mindset changed, right? When we had a whole class of people in 2015, the whole team that won the city title was supposed to be a bunch of hood thug kids, all graduated and went to college. And then it became a thing in Prototype, whereas if you got below at 80, you got laughed at. So it shows you how simple it is to change a whole entire group's mindset,
Mhm.
to not push for mediocrity and what you can achieve when you change a whole group. The reason why they're trying to fatten us for the slaughter is because we're dangerous if we're not being mediocre.
Yeah.
right.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Do you realize that people love a struggle story? And you will root for somebody when
Yep.
they're on their way up, and
Yep.
you'll root for them while they're
Yep.
doing all the things that may be somewhat attainable in your eyes. And as they continue to progress and move forward, and they finally reach a level that might be in your mind out of reach,
Yep.
then it becomes, I don't know if I really fuck with them anymore. Oh,
Yep.
they're losing their authenticity.
Yeah.
I liked it better when they were in the Brooklyn apartment.
Yeah.
I liked the struggle a little bit better. I don't know who they think they are. Like those comments starting to come through now. And it's just like, man, here we are essentially trying to do the best we can to work hard for our goals and our dreams to set our family up for the legacy that we want for them. But in turn, we lose people and we lose support because at this point, they don't want to see us doing well.
Well, what I say is we don't lose support. We don't lose support because the
We have
support
lost
has
some.
continued. No, the support has
We've
continued
gained.
to grow.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
the thing is, everybody isn't along for the entire journey.
I
Right.
agree.
Some people were only along for that part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go somewhere else. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
We have continued to grow because we've grown in abundance. It's just when people announce their exit, it makes you feel like, like why announce your exit? Why announce your exit? I realize that people are going to announce their exit because that's all they have.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't take it
That's
personal.
the power they
Yes,
have.
yeah.
They
Power
feel
That's what
Yeah.
they have.
You know
They
what
feel
I'm
like they
saying?
made
Like-
their right.
Mhm.
Got it.
You
Yeah.
can't like that in that moment. This is all I have to let them know that something didn't hit me the right way.
They've lost me.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Right.
Because you got to look at everybody around you. Right, there's nobody that has aspired to do something that everyone else hasn't done and hasn't lost people along the way.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm
Absolutely. And
saying?
being exactly who they are. You
Right.
know, Josh, Matt, and Tribble, y'all have been working with us for how many years now? And I feel like you guys can attest to the fact that we are still at heart the same people, right?
Mhm.
If anything, that we still want everybody to win. We're trying to bring everybody along with us, working hard. But like to your point, some people are just okay with that portion of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if that journey or that part of our journey spoke to them in that moment,
Mhm.
and this part of the journey doesn't, that's okay too.
Right.
Maybe they can't relate because they haven't reached this part yet. But then once they reach this part, then maybe they can relate.
Mhm.
Like I have no problems with that.
Right.
Like there's certain people's lives that I've followed or celebrities or people that I've looked at
Mhm.
that I'm like, I can't relate to this.
Right.
So in that moment, that I can't relate to, but then something else comes up and I definitely can relate to that.
For sure.
I just feel like that's what it is. And so I really don't take it personal.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, you're absolutely right. And to your point, we feel the same way about other people. We just don't feel the need to necessarily announce it, but you take it and you leave it.
Right.
You know?
And you can't say to yourself, well, I'm not going to keep trying harder to get more from my family or to do more for myself
Mhm.
because other people seem uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's part of feeding into the mediocrity of it,
Mhm.
right?
That's when you
Like-
let them.
Like think about it. You know how when you younger, we've heard this before. the young person in the class don't get as good of grades because they don't want to stand out too much because they get made fun of for being a dork or a
Yeah.
dweeb. You ever heard those
Dimming their
stories?
light. Yeah.
It's like you can't keep dimming your light because other people feel uncomfortable that you shining.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're gonna put sunglasses on or they just gonna watch you walk away blind because you gotta keep shining.
Yeah.
That's how you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Because your shine may blind somebody else, but may be everything someone else needs to see in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So dimming your light may not only be hurting yourself, it could be hurting other people who want to see that message.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Really good point.
I do have a question though. My
Mhm.
question is for everybody though. Like,
Yeah.
as much as we're talking about keeping good company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we all be honest and say how comfortable you are about receiving the truth if you're being stagnant and a friend telling you, I see you being stagnant? The reason why I say this is because it's easy to say to people, be more open to receiving this information and stuff like that. Don't be mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
But then when someone tries to correct us,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for us to take. Right?
Yeah.
How comfortable are y'all when
Yeah.
it comes to receiving that?
I know I always was never comfortable with it. I think for me, it was just a matter of lacking accountability. And in my mind, feeling like I'm doing my best in this moment. So because I feel like I'm doing my best, there's no room for improvement. But then, for example, you as a friend, as a husband, as a spouse, have had moments where you're like, hey, like, you're not even maxing your potential right now. You're just coasting. And sometimes you have to hear that from somebody whose opinion you value, because it can't just come from anybody. But you, for example, for me, is someone who's actually living that life, right? You're always aspiring to be greater, to do more, to advance. So if I'm getting that note from a friend who hadn't done shit with their business either, or whatever it is, it's harder to take that criticism versus from somebody who was actually doing it and walking the walk.
That makes sense.
I
Well,
was going to piggyback and say the same exact thing. It always depends on who it's coming from. Because if you not even doing half of what you're trying to do, why are you critiquing me?
That is a good point too.
So at least try to be doing the effort to better yourself, and I'm open to listening.
That is a good point.
I think it depends on also how well the person knows you, because, you know, everybody has their reasons for why they do what they do, why they don't do what they do, or like what is stopping them from being greater than they are. And so if it's somebody like my best friend is somebody that I talk about a lot, about personal growth and career growth and stuff like that. And she's always honest with me about, you know, what she thinks, you know, where she thinks I am, but she's always also honest with me about what she thinks I'm great at. You know what I'm saying? And she gives me real information about how she thinks that I can improve to be better at what I'm great at. And it's not just like, you ain't doing shit, you mediocre. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, wow, you are so amazing at this, and I feel like you are fearful, or you know what I'm saying, you
Right.
stunting, like, you know.
Yeah, you're not
or
maxing
here's
your
an idea.
potential, or
Yeah.
you got
I think
comfortable.
I think it definitely depends on how well somebody knows you, because it's a vulnerable conversation to have with somebody.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be able to go there with them and allow them to be able to receive, you know what I'm saying, your response to that too.
And I think with a friend, or with most friendships, at least I would hope that within my friendships, that you can have those honest conversations and not feel like someone is attacking you. But let's face it, we're not always going to have the discipline needed or the motivation needed to do the things we need to do. And we know the difference between discipline and motivation. Sometimes you need somebody to light a fire under your tail and say, you know what, I know that you're capable of this. Do it. I had to have this talk recently with a friend of mine who's been putting something off forever. Putting something off, but also simultaneously complaining about where they are in their life. And it's like you're
mediocrity.
continuing to complain, but you're not doing anything that's within your power to correct that. So then what are we talking about here? And it was almost like, I don't want to hear it again. It's like a tough love. I don't want to hear about this conversation again unless you have something that you've moved forward with. So guess what? She's moving forward with her stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody kind of has to have their own moment of revelation where they're just like, man, I'm tired of living in this space of mediocrity. I need to buckle down and get it done.
See, I'm glad you talked about the moment or that revelation, because I wanted to share my revelation of when I realized that sometimes mediocrity isn't even only what you think you're doing, is what you actually doing. So I learned early in my life that I don't like taking stuff. I didn't like taking advice from people because I, one, just like to figure stuff out on my own. I like to learn. But number two, I always felt so picked apart by my parents growing up that I just took everything and I got defensive. Like my mom and dad was like, your attitude, this, your attitude. So I always just felt like I didn't have a right to think. So anytime someone tried to take away my right to think about something or my opinion, I felt attacked. And it wasn't until football when I learned that the eye in the sky don't lie. I'm busting my ass, giving 100%, and then coach says, "Yo, DeVal, do you know why you got pulled?" And my first thing was, I got pulled because you rather have somebody else in, right? I was getting ready to get defensive, and he said, "No, how far you have to run for a curl route?" I said 12 yards. He said, "How far did you run in the curl route?" I said 12 yards. He said, "You want to watch the film?" I said, "If I know I ran 12 yards, I ran 8 yards."
Mm.
And in my mind, I thought that I was running 12 yards. So I legitimately thought I was giving like 100% effort the right way. And it wasn't until I seen it and I was like, oh, shoot, like that. And in my mind, I was like, that's the shittiest curl route. I wouldn't throw that route either. But then what it taught me was you have to be open to receiving information from people because you don't even know
sometimes how it comes across.
Right, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't always be from a friend either.
That was it can't always be for a friend.
True.
I had to take this from a coach who at the time I couldn't stand. Like I really couldn't stand.
But also was making decisions over your livelihood. So it's just like, shit, at this point I'm gonna have to suck it up because I have no other choice. But ultimately the eye in the sky don't lie, right? That's what you say?
And that's how you get out of mediocrity though.
Yeah.
Being willing to be open to hearing it and then just being like, all right, let me take inventory. And then when you can see it, it's something like, oh shit, that person was right.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right. I can at least trust that person is trying, even if I trust that they don't like me. If we have things and synergies and we both have to go forward together, then I can trust that they're gonna put me in a situation to grow or be better. And I think we all have to start taking heed to that. You may get some advice from somebody you don't like.
Or don't trust either.
Yeah.
Right, but if you know it can help you,
yes,
take it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just sit in mediocrity because I'm not listening to that person.
Right.
We all gonna have to learn how to use discernment once again to pick apart that information.
But do you believe that? Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
All right, so thank you. I think a big part of it is also just being able to self-reflect, right? Like, you hearing the stuff about yourself, you might not be willing to change anything. It might not be anything you want to hear, or you just might be completely defensive over it. Having the mindset and fortitude to self-reflect on your own self is where the real change comes in. Because you could tell me something to kingdom come. You could tell me about myself till, like, yo, Josh, you ain't doing this. You ain't doing this. Like, you can do this. You can do that. But if I'm not looking internally at myself to say, like, I think that's where the defensiveness comes in a lot of the time when you're telling people stuff. One, they're not prepared to hear it. Second, it's unsolicited. Like, I didn't ask you to tell me, nigga.
Right. That's right. That's
and then
true.
three,
That's
it's
true.
like, if
That's
I can
true.
take the time to like look at myself, I'll take you back to a conversation we had. The three of us, we had in LA at the BET Awards. And I said something about Matt, about what he did. And you said, yo, that's funny that you said this about Matt when you do that all the time, right? And I was
yeah.
And I was like, at that time, I was focused on what Matt did, right? It was like, Matt, you're wrong for this, whatever, or you could look at it a different way. And Matt just like, yeah, I didn't mean it that way, but yeah, I see what you're saying. And then when you came to me, I was just like, nigga, we ain't talking about me. But at the time, it's not solicited.
Right.
Like, I didn't ask for it. But the truth is, like, after Matt stays quiet, we're going back and forth, and Matt stays quiet, and I look at Matt and like, if Matt's quiet, I'm wrong. I know that because Matt will step in and say something about me if it's warranted.
As friends should.
But then when I look at it and I'm like, if Matt's quiet and I'm now getting angry, right? I'm feeling it's a visceral feeling to hear something about yourself, about yourself in a way where somebody's trying to explain something to you,
right?
And you didn't ask for it, and you're not in the because to get feedback sometimes you have to be in this like accepting sort of like
absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you trust them,
right?
Like,
Absolutely.
I could trust you
because you just may not want to hear it in that moment. You're not in that space.
Talking about this,
right?
I'm trying to eat my burger, right? And I think it has to do a lot to do with the mediocrity. Well, combating mediocrity has to do with self-reflection. I think that's the biggest thing.
And now check this out. Everything you just said made the most amount of sense. And we grew up during a time where corporal punishment was allowed. So imagine we still have to self-regulate our emotions when we hear something about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Teach us. Imagine a generation of kids who are told from young, your parents can't correct you, your teachers can't correct you. So you
Mhm.
grow up your whole time being a child thinking I can say what I want at home and say what I want in school.
Oh yeah.
Those young people are now adults.
Hmm.
Because those were the kids those were Jackson's age kids, and it started before that.
Right. So we're noticing people in like their 20s now can't do like basic things.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to even find good help nowadays
Yes.
with anything because that whole entire generation, they've been fed this level of they're entitled to certain things,
Yep.
certain wages, not having to put the work in,
With
going
no
above and
standard.
beyond. What's that? Take initiative? We don't even know how to spell it. Let's chat GPT it. Like
That's a
there's-
fact, though.
That's literally where we are with things now. But you know what I was thinking right before Josh mentioned the self-reflection? Is there just a place for people who are mediocre?
Oh, absolutely.
Because everyone
Yeah.
can't be
Yes.
the overachiever.
We need
and do
people
we
to be
shame
mediocre.
those people for saying, you know what, you're okay with just living an average life because that's just what you want out of life? Because I know how we sometimes, for example, even just with our siblings or our friends, we're like, yo, we know that you can do all these things. But it's like, do they even want all those things? Or
I
is it
think-
just imparting what we feel can happen if they were to apply themselves?
Go ahead, Josh.
In a capitalist environment and economy, you need people to be mediocre because those are your consumers.
I thought the same exact.
100%.
And the workers.
exact
Right?
thing.
You can't everybody can't be
boss.
a boss,
Right.
a
True.
Bill
That's very
Gates,
true.
a
Fatten
freaking
them
Chief
up for
cook
the
and bottle
slaughter.
washer.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
It goes back to what you were saying.
Fatten them up for the slaughter.
yeah, you need to have those
consumers.
people.
Yeah.
And also those people make I would say most of your workforce will be those people
Mhm.
for the most part. It's not like mediocrity in a global sense is a bad thing. It just it's just a standard.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's like
I see what you're saying.
there's a part of mediocrity where we're like it's a bad thing in terms of like how you're not trying to attain anything.
If you have the potential to be better.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Sure.
And most people do have the potential. It's just that I'm comfortable
Right.
being mediocre.
It goes
Mhm.
back to what he's saying. They literally train you for that in school.
Yes,
Like, to
absolutely.
be a
what I-
worker, to be on a
yes.
hamster wheel, to
Right.
be stuck because you're going to be the consumer for me and I'm going to make lots of money.
Yeah,
they
that's,
say that
it's
already,
just
yeah.
like now we have everybody getting their information from TikTok because they don't want to read anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so people's reading comprehension skills are
Oh,
down
man.
to a level where you're voting on a feeling. You're voting on the fact
Yeah.
that you're a bigot
On
and
a
you
whim.
are
Or the algorithm, whatever it's fed
yeah,
you.
when it's actually a class war and you're going to get slaughtered with the rest of us because you wouldn't open a fucking book or a newspaper.
That's a fact, though. It's a
You're
no, but
absolutely
trouble is
right.
that, and that goes back to my point why I say this is why they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about it before we were growing up. You go back to gym classes in the 50s and 60s. There were physical exams that people had to take to
Oh,
pass
yeah.
50s and
gym.
60s. I had to do the
Fitness.
military test in 09.
You had to do that in
Yeah.
09?
They had that for a long while. Then they got rid of it.
I
Oh,
think
well, you went to private school.
Yeah.
though.
they got rid of it, and I think in the Obama administration. I think that's where those gyms.
Which
08, 09.
But then the
09.
obesity for kids, when was that movement? Because, you know, when
That
Michelle
was
Obama
Obama.
was.
during the Obama administration.
So
as
it
I think
well.
it's
stopped
probably
and then
prior to
started
that.
simultaneously?
I
Or is
want to
this-
say it's prior to that, but
Well, I know that they took gym out of the schools when we was heading towards middle school.
Mhm.
Because I remember going into Andrews Huddy Junior High School and we no longer had gym. We had recess during lunch if it was cold outside, but we didn't have
Mm.
gym anymore, which was like a crazy thing. And that was like 1998.
Yeah, I'm from
But-
Ohio. We always had gym. We had to
Yeah,
learn
we
how to
had gym too.
swim. We had to
Mhm.
play tennis, basketball. We had to lift weights. We had to run a mile.
Look at that.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a
I
lot.
had
We just had to
aerobics in
run
high
around the
school.
gym for 3 laps.
all
minimum.
those programs in the
Mhm.
50s and 60s, I still had it until I was in junior high school. You had to do push-ups. You had
Yeah.
to do
Mhm. Sit-ups.
like all this crazy stuff. You had to learn electric slide in junior high school because it was about physical movement. It was,
Just
it was
moving.
you couldn't be lax.
Doing
But
Yeah.
that's
Zumba in
my
junior high
point is
school?
you taking all of the things that challenge people out of school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because now, and I'm not knocking Montessori, but now there's no more grades. Oh, we don't grade the kids. We let them free play.
That's
That
crazy.
may work for some kids at some part of the day, but at some point there has to be a standard
Right.
to where we know that there's some level of
Structure.
academia being reached.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it just seems like it becomes more and more free.
Right.
What's the thought behind that though? Taking out
The-
grades. Is it because they don't want kids to compete against each other?
Well, Montessori, they never really had grades.
didn't have
have like a
grades,
grading
yeah.
system. So you can get a U for unsatisfactory, S for satisfactory, or E for excellent.
Right.
So it never really was a grade. It was
Ever.
just that you had to do a certain level of work and you had to be at a certain level of like knowledge through each grade.
I guess meeting a certain milestone according
Yeah.
to like your age,
Yeah.
right? So if they're like dissecting fine motor skills and
Right.
things like that, they're going to give you activities where they can assess that. But
And
other
it
than
in-
that, there's not like the
Yeah.
force, I would say, behind like you need to write your name, you need to be reading by this age. Even when I had a parent-teacher conference with Dakota, he's 3 going on 4, and I'm just like, are they going to be reading in this class sight words? And she was kind of like, well, we don't really push that on them now, and you know, it'll come in 4. I was just like, well, we're going to push it at home. So
Right.
he's going to come in here knowing a
Book
lot of stuff
reports at
anyway.
Dakota's
Like,
age.
yeah, Dakota's over here like doing all the things. Like, but to you guys' point, it's just very much like a kind of laissez-faire thing, and they try to spiral it and say that it's on mental health and not wanting people to feel inferior or
Yeah, it-
you know,
Which
people
I
having
understand.
anxiety
I
over
understand
grades.
both, though.
It encourages independence and
Yeah.
interdependence, like collaborative work,
Mhm.
Yes.
but not competition. They're not focused on competition. They're focused more on collaboration in Montessori.
And I agree. When you're 3, 4, maybe even into second grade, grades shouldn't matter. You know, we
Mhm.
going into second grades, but
Mhm.
but I think once you get past that 3rd grade
It's true.
to 5th grade, we have to start testing kids. That's just my opinion.
You know
what
what?
I'm
You're
saying?
actually right, because when I went for parent-teacher conference at the top of the year, Cairo's teacher, he's going into 3rd grade. She's like, this is where it kind of gets real. Like, this is where
Yeah.
we're doing book reports. This is where we're doing all the
Yeah.
things. And then I noticed with Kaz's class in the 2nd grade, it's a lot of group things.
Yes.
Figuring out things through groups.
Which-
So
which
there's that
I-
collaborative,
Mhm.
you know, way of learning.
Which I think is important because we have to also teach kids community.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Like the way you do that is through the Montessori method, which my
Mhm.
point is like you do need a little bit of both, but we can't eliminate all standards
Yeah.
because we're worried about people feeling bad. This is a fact, and people may not like it. Those who work harder deserve more.
Absolutely.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
If we're all in a class or we're all doing something and I'm doing twice as much work to gather and do all this other stuff, I deserve my fair share plus some. I don't think it's fair that I have to work my hardest, but then everybody gets even and the person that sits back and chills
Mhm.
gets the same amount. And we should teach people that early so that they understand, let me carry my own weight. You know, let me have pride in being able to contribute. And my contribution may not be the same as Kadeem's, right? My contribution may not be the same as Matt's. Matt's bigger than me. He may lift more than me, right? Kadeem may be able to swifter. She can move faster than me. But there's a way that we
Mhm.
can all find a way to contribute. And
And
if we
who's,
teach
see
people,
who surfaces as
yeah,
what.
what's your strength?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on that. Now we know your strength. Let's not be mediocre at your strength, my G.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that would be my thing.
Mm.
You know?
Interesting.
Don't be mediocre at your strength. That's crazy.
There you go. Come on, moment of truth.
Moment of truth right there.
The fact that you have to say that if you work harder, you deserve more. Just
Well, you do because we
epitomizes
don't.
everything.
We live in a
We shouldn't have to say that though.
we live in a fake meritocracy where we are
Facts.
taught this society is a fake meritocracy
Facts.
where
Yeah.
we think billionaires worked hard for what they have and they
Facts.
didn't. The
Mm-mm.
workers work the hardest and they don't have
Absolutely.
the most. But when you
Absolutely.
believe that, you continue to run the rat race. So it is
Facts.
kind of like
Facts.
it's a double-edged sword in a way. Like I understand what you're saying when you are working on yourself, working on your goals, you should work as hard as you can to get the most out of life that you can.
Yeah.
But you got to also be real that that's a possibility that that's not going to happen. You can get
Oh,
so
yeah.
far, you know?
There's definitely a possibility that you can work your hardest
It's still
and,
not.
and still not get it. But my thing is, you're never gonna be able to put that on me,
Right.
right? Like say if I work my hardest and I didn't get it, I know I got something.
Yeah.
Cause work hard.
If anything, you grew
right.
as a person.
And what I'm not gonna ever do or don't accept is someone who don't work hard but then complains for
Yeah.
what they don't have.
Yeah.
Cause there's two
Or
sides to
puts
every
other
coin.
people down.
Right? It's like, okay, so you're not working hard for anything. There's no standard. You just want to just sit here. But then all the other people who are working hard, you just point out all of their flaws. It's like, that dude, we're not trying to hear that either, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to work. I think all of us as people have to learn to work, especially at your strengths.
Mhm.
Push that.
I love it. All right, well, let's go push these bills because they ain't going to go nowhere. And we'll be back with our listener letter of the day. So stick around, y'all.
Hey y'all, guess what? We wrote a book. We Over Me. And Coda. Hey Bob.
What's up?
Good morning. How was that morning nap?
Just standing here. From
Came in here with your bells on.
All three over me.
We. He's actually 4 though. right? Hi, sweet baby. How was your nap? Huh? I want a nap. See, the bell is on, so we don't lose him in the house, right?
Don't get nothing down.
It's giving sleigh bell ring. Are you listening? Give me hugs. Mommy needs you. Oh, mommy's baby.
Oh.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round and round.
We Over Me. Available in hard copy, audiobook, and ebook. Whoever books are sold.
Get one, because Coda said so, right? Say get.
We got it, Josh? I'm going to take a nap. 4 hours. 4 hours.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
All right, y'all, we're back with our listener letter of the day. Dear Ellises and the crew, I'm a new listener and I'm hooked on your podcast. Welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you. So glad that you didn't quit after Deadass. I'd love your advice on dating as a woman in her 30s who hopes for marriage and kids with a God-fearing man who isn't intimidated by my career as a doctor. I'm in my 20s. In my 20s, I dated without much intention. I avoided being alone, staying in relationships that weren't right, and let my fate fade. Then residency hit hard. COVID burnout, a breakup, caring for my grandmother until she passed. I almost quit medicine, but that season is when God brought me back to him and showed me my place in medicine to help patients like her. That's awesome. So I stayed, and now I love my job. After 2 years of healing, I started dating again. But wow, it's been tough, especially around faith. I've had moments of impatience and even bitterness, but I long for a Christ-centered marriage like the one you model. I actually found your podcast in a funny way. After a disappointing date, I cheered myself up with Meet Me Next Christmas. Come on, shout out, baby. Saw clips of you two and thought, yes, that's my goal. I don't want to settle for anything less. So here's my question. How can I keep hope and joy alive while dating with intention without slipping into impatience or compromising my faith and values? You guys are amazing. Thank you for writing in.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Girl, well, it seems like you're doing all the right things, but I'm not in the dating pool now, so it's really hard sometimes for me to answer those dating questions. But from what I've gathered, from friends, my sister even being single, like, there's not much out there, man. And I think, if anything, you need to show up as your true self to see if you can be able to attract people in those spaces. I'm wondering where you're dating, where you're going. I don't even know. Where do people go to date now? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Everyone here is married except Triple.
Instagram.
Yeah. Triple, where do people going?
The number one dating app on
Instagram.
Where do people go to date?
Like, find dates?
Yeah, like what's the dating scene looking like now? I don't know. I'm so out the loop.
I'm not an app girly, but I know some of the girls are using apps. Facebook dating is a popular one now. Hinge is popular.
They got a Facebook dating
Facebook
app?
dating is a
Yeah.
thing?
Really?
Yeah.
Is it directly linked to
Took it off
Facebook,
of
or is it
Yeah,
like
I
something
think it
completely
is. I think
different?
it's directly linked to Facebook.
Interesting.
I wouldn't go that route. I always tell people to go where you like to be and see who else is in there. That's how you find like-minded individuals. That's how you find people that like to do the same things that you do. You already are starting at a level of compatibility if you do that. And
Gotcha.
you get to read somebody's real energy in person. See if they know how to have a conversation with you. I be seeing these girls post about like finding a date on an app, and then the first time he texts her, the first time he's supposed to go out, he starts acting like a fucking nutcase. That's why I'm not on apps, because I think everybody, not everybody, but I think people on apps are socially awkward, and I don't like that. I want to see feel somebody's energy the first time we meet. That's what I'm attracted to. So go where you like to go and see who the hell is in there.
Yeah, I feel like I would do mutual friends. Like,
I would rock with what Tribble
Find
said,
mutual
mainly
friends.
because like there's too much with apps and AI.
yeah,
Like I want to go and meet some. You can't catfish me if I met you in person. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I do think people need to
I
understand.
mean, they can.
You know what? You're right.
They
You're right.
can.
You know what? Let me take that back. Look at,
Wait, some
You
people
know-
have been catfished in person?
have you?
I haven't.
Have
but-
you ever read? Ever watched the
is
movie?
right now.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene where a chick, she's
didn't have no
beautiful.
legs.
She's beautiful, right? She's beautiful, right? And he takes her back to enjoy a nightcap.
Oh,
And by the
God.
time we see her at the end of the night, she done took off her eyelids, her eyeballs, eyebrow.
Oh, like
took her
Fresh
leg
Prince when he
off.
took off everything?
Yeah, here.
The Fresh
But
Prince
so you
episode.
can't get catfished, and this dude's walking around with
Yeah.
360 waves in the beard,
Mhm.
and then if you throw that
Tight
nigga in the
hairline.
pool,
Right.
he gonna come out with an egghead.
Yeah.
That beard gonna be running down his neck. So you
That
can't
is
catfish
true.
people in person.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, that makes sense. Like if you enjoy karaoke, for example, go to freaking karaoke bars and clubs and whatnot, and you can see who you bump into
Or if
over
you're
the
a
love of
doctor,
karaoke.
you want to find somebody that's not intimidated by your career as a doctor. Maybe go to a professional conference or
I
something like
agree.
that, where there's people on your level in your career field or in another professional
I
field.
never thought about career conferences, but that's actually a good one.
that actually is a really, you could tell Triple
That's
be
a really
dating.
good
Triple
one.
be out
Triple
here
be
looking.
outside. Triple be
That's
outside.
actually really good.
Let me tell you
She ain't
something.
get that BBL for no
I
reason.
Triple, how many doctor conferences you done been to already? Look at Dr. Triple.
Catfishing as
Dr.
a
Triple.
neurosurgeon.
I can see Triple in there like,
Doc
yeah.
Nick's
I can
Stuffin's
walk
over
out of
there.
any room with a date. I'm
Yo,
telling you that.
Triple gonna go in
I'm
there
sure.
like,
I
yes,
believe
I'm a
it.
gynecologist. You look like you need some work done. Let me
You need a breast exam.
But no, this is serious though, what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think people really need to understand when they say dating with intentionality, right? You're looking for the one. The one person out of billions of people, which means you have to kiss a lot of frogs. So you can't get disappointed when you've gone on a couple dates and it's 2 weeks into this journey and you've been on 3 dates and now it's like the world is coming to an end. You're
Right.
looking for the one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey, listen to Tribble, go to some conferences, go to some different places. I prefer to meet people in person,
Right.
but don't get, hey, you may go on 150 dates. That don't mean you sleep with everybody, but you may go on dates. Hey, have a coffee.
Mhm.
May go have a dinner, may go to the museum, but just understand it's going to take a lot of dates to
Mhm.
meet the one.
Absolutely.
All right? So don't get discouraged. I honestly believe every person has a one. You know what I'm saying? Has that person that is their person. You just take time to find them, and anything that's worth finding takes time. So
Absolutely.
take
And
your
keep being
time.
exactly who you are. When I say show up as your true self, like don't dim your light. Don't
Yeah.
dim your achievements. Don't dim who you are because you're trying to like fit into, because then you're going to end up in the wrong pool of people. and
Fact. 'Cause
and then
if
what?
Kay was a doctor, man, I'd love it. I'd say put them scrubs on. You know what time it is. You know what time it is, all right?
Listen, I got some scrubs upstairs from an audition.
She
Don't
put the
tempt me
scrubs
with a
on and
good
you put the
time.
joint on with. Never
With
mind.
the backlist, the
Look,
backlist.
the backlist
gown.
Look. Josh,
gowns.
Josh, how would you put me in the backless joint? See what I'm saying?
That's why you were supposed to be.
No,
the-
see, no,
you
no.
were supposed to be that one, and
See,
she
no,
was
why
supposed
would
to
you
do that.
even bring that into
Role
our
reversal.
Because I'm like,
imagination?
come on, son.
Why
you
would
ain't
you
think
bring that
about
into
that?
our imagination, Josh? Why, man?
Sorry,
Why?
man. Sorry, people.
Why?
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 Every episode, y'all get a little bit more about me.
I love that.
It's
And they
terrible
love it.
place, man. I'm sorry.
They love it, Josh. They
Every
love
episode.
it. Oh my goodness. Well, good luck to you, sis. Seems like you're on the right path, and whoever that person is for you, I'm sure you'll find. All right. If you want to be featured as a listener letter, keep writing in. From last time I checked, Triple, has the email box been overflowing?
Not really. Y'all need to write in a lot more than
Come
you
on
are
now.
doing.
People don't
Hello?
want advice.
Yeah.
Hello.
They're
Write in.
nervous.
You know, we'll stay anonymous. You know what I'm saying? But at least we're going to give you the, I won't say we're going to give you all the right answers, but we're going to give you some perspective, So write in if you want to be a listener letter. It is the theellisadvice@gmail.com. That's the email address.
TheEllisadvice@gmail.com.
All right, time for the moment of truth. Today we're talking about mediocrity and does it love company? Josh, I think you had a little one-liner blurb for your moment of truth.
Oh, yeah, I copied and pasted that from DeVell. I
Oh,
can't
was it
remember.
That
yours?
was mine.
Oh,
If
that
you
was
tried
yours.
to
My
take it.
bad. So, okay, go ahead.
I ain't
Well,
trying to take it.
No, go ahead.
say it again. Say it again then.
You don't
Don't
remember.
be mediocre. I almost forgot it too. I
don't
almost
remember
forgot.
at
I ain't
all.
gonna lie, you.
I don't know what it was.
No, it wasn't until just now I remembered it. It was don't be mediocre at what you're great at.
Mm.
Like,
Oh.
don't just sit in that. Find out what's great for you and just create a high standard for yourself. And don't let anybody else knock you off of trying to achieve that standard. I don't care how much they talk about you, yo. If that's what you know you're great at, go get it.
Absolutely.
Mine's simple. Don't be whatless.
Don't be whatless.
Yeah, don't be whatless.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I,
You're
I,
such a West Indian.
I would say, to my point earlier on, try not to be mediocre on your own. Don't wait for nobody else to tell you that you're being mediocre. And if I think the point went out earlier, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you in the wrong room.
Fact.
I'm trying to live that. So I encourage you to do the same.
Dope.
I think learning how to take feedback from people you respect will help you level up every time.
I love that. Yeah.
Respect and don't respect.
From people.
Yeah.
From people.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think I can round it out by just saying, let people believe what they want to believe about you. If you want to be great, go ahead and be great. And whatever that looks like for you, continue on that path. Because what you don't want to allow is the noise from folks who aren't doing the very same thing that you want to do, or not even doing it with themselves in their own lives, to have that kind of pressure or even that kind of control over your thought and over your life. So let people be, and then you should do your own thing.
I like that. Let them be.
Period. Let them be.
Let them be.
Let them be, honey. All right, y'all. If you have not yet joined us on Patreon, what's up, Patreon gang? Love to see y'all here. We have so much exclusive Ellis family content, as well as the after show for Ellis Ever After. So be sure to join us on Patreon. And you can find us on social media. We are on Instagram and we are on TikTok as Ellis Ever After, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can find me at Kadeen I Am.
And I am DeVal.
I'm _Matt.Ellis.
And I'm Joshua_Dwayne.
I'm at Tribs the Cool, TRIBBZ the Cool on everything.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
And we're officially in hoodie season, y'all. So we have, I think, the last batch of our Deadass merch here.
Oh, they going away?
Well, whatever is gone, once it's gone,
man,
it's
I gotta
gone.
cop another one before
It's
they
going
get
to be
sold out.
vintage collector's items. So we have some t-shirts left. We have a couple hoodies and some hats. So don't delay getting your Deadass merch, because then we will be rolling out very shortly Ellis Ever After merch. All right? Stick around, y'all. We love you. Thanks again. Deadass.
Got
Ellis Ever After is an iHeartMedia podcast. It's hosted by Kadeen and DeVal Ellis. It's produced by Tribble. Video production by Joshua Dwayne and Matthew Ellis. Video editing by LaShawn Rowe.